Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett, and today I'm going to get into a video on how to find your perfect VPN. Now with this one in mind, I want to mention that I view VPNs as more of a security thing, and with that it's all a matter of trust. Like anything with security, whether it's a door lock, a house alarm, or even something simple as a antivirus, if you do not trust it, what I recommend is that you try to figure out why don't you trust it. It might be simple as you don't know enough about it, and if that's the case, then research and see what you think afterwards. But if there's a legit reason, then don't use it. The reason why I'm saying that is I'm be pushing private internet access throughout this video for multiple reasons. One of the biggest is I've been using them for a very long time, and on top of that, I got affiliate link down below. I mean, like, if that's good enough for you, I got affiliate link down below. Just go ahead and subscribe through that. And not only your first subscription, but recurrence, I get a kickback from that. But with that one in mind, if you do not trust that company, find one that you do trust. That's all it is about at the end of the day. So why do I use private internet access above any other VPN? This is a major thing that you got to note. And by the way, if you're in the United States or using a United States company, make sure you use a paid for VPN. It gives you extra legal protection, all the other stuff. So just note that. I'm not going to get all in detailed, but it's legal. It helps you out there. Now, why do I use private internet access above everything else? One of the biggest things is I trust it, but also it's very affordable. If you take a look at this versus other VPNs, it's very, very affordable at the bottom line. But a big thing is trust. So let's just take a look at PureVPN. PureVPN, October of last year, came out that PureVPN, another VPN company, they actually helped out the FBI at catching some bad person. They helped them out by handing the FBI some logs. Great. Well, where is the problem with that? And why do I not trust PureVPN? Why I don't trust PureVPN and probably won't ever trust PureVPN is they advertise as they don't collect logs. So how were they even able to give logs if they don't even collect logs? So there's the problem. If they're able to lie about something small like that, and by the way, that would be a false advertisement. Just nothing's happening, amazingly enough. But if they, lie about these little things, then what else are they going to lie about? These are the things that you got to keep in mind. Well, the thing is, and the funny thing is a week after this came out, and I found out about it, they asked to sponsor my channel, and I said hell no, because I'm not, my name will be on the line, and I do not trust them because of that thing. Whereas private internet access, hands down, I trust them because there's multiple things they did in the past and they are doing, which makes me trust them. So an example is Russia, I think it was last year, maybe a year before, Russia put a mandate that VPN companies, they have to collect 2 years of logs, and at a snap of the finger, they have to be able to give it over to the Russian government when they request it. Well, the thing is because of that, instead of agreeing to that or whatever, they just removed their services altogether from Russia. They removed their servers, their VPN servers, so they have nothing in Russia, and therefore Russia has no jurisdiction over this crap. So that's something very simple into itself, but it speaks very loudly on as far as how far they are able to go out of their way to make sure that they keep their word, whereas some don't. So with that one in mind, that's very, very important to itself. Then there's other things, like they got a blog and whatever that gets into cybersecurity. It's actually pretty good. Pretty good news blog that they have, and I highly suggest that you checking that out. But other than that, they are faster than most other VPNs. Now, one big thing I want to note is other than, let's say, your internet service provider, if it's throttling your internet, then any VPN might be faster than that. But let's just say that your internet service provider is not throttling your internet speeds to a particular site. Then what happens, let's just say that's not happening. Well, what happens is that will always be faster than any VPN for the most part, or at least the same speed. So that's a big thing to note. However, the big thing to note is between this and other VPNs, I find and other people find that this is much, much faster. Now, with that one in mind, you also have a whole slew of countries that you can make it look like you're coming from, a whole slew of servers that you can make it look like you're coming from. And again, one of the biggest things I like about this, above other VPNs I dealt with in the past, is this particular company. Again, I had them for a couple of years now. I've never ran into a problem with them before, but when I went out of my way, emailed them about something, well, the fact is they tend to get back to me within a couple hours. They say 24 hours, but normally, like, given that it's still within the business day, it's a couple hours. Plus, on top of that, it's cheap. It's not that expensive at all. Whereas, if you look at some of these other companies, you're actually paying more, even if you trust them at the same level, and you know they're pretty much the same which way you go. If you take a look at the price point, more than not, it's actually cheaper with private internet access over the others. So as far as that goes, what is a VPN, and really why should it concern you one way or another? As an average person, try not to get into the nuts and bolts of it, but as an average person, why should you care about it? Well, how a VPN works at the end of the day is, let's just say that you're on the East Coast of United States, and then you are trying to access something on the, say, California. Well, what normally happens if you go to command prompt on a Windows computer and do a trace RT command on a given website, you can actually see the hops. So it's not as straightforward as going from point A to point B. It's normally something like you go there, then it goes up there, and then it finds its way to the California site. Sometimes there's 10 hops or even more, it depends on how far the thing is. So this is a very important thing, but for this, let's just use a straight line. Basically what happens is you go directly into the thing and whatever, but the problem is anything in between. If you got a man in the middle of attack, if your site, local site, is compromised, then you can have security problems. So a way to protect your local security is from your host device itself, your computer or your mobile phone. You'll have a VPN on it. Now, there is some VPNs you can put it on the Wi-Fi routers, and if you want to put it on your home Wi-Fi router, that's more than fun. But make sure you got one on your actual device, like your mobile device, when you go out and about to public Wi-Fi usages. The reason for that is, if you are how it fundamentally works is, instead of sending your traffic directly to the web server that you're trying to go to, what happens is it sends it to a VPN server. Let's just say, for example, this is a VPN server. So what happens is basically your traffic gets sent to the VPN server from your host device, meaning your phone or your computer or whatever you're using. That or let's say your Wi-Fi, if that's where your VPN starts, that's where it gets encrypted, and then from there it gets decrypted on the VPN server, and then it gets sent out to the place, and then it goes, you know, when this needs to communicate back, it goes back to the VPN server and gets encrypted, and then goes to your host server, host system, again, phone or whatever, and decrypted, and that way you can actually see whatever text or website or whatever. So that's how it kind of works in a nutshell. Now, with that one in mind, it's very important to note that things like your ISP automatically won't be able to see what you're going to, unless if you have some type of DNS leak or something around that point. But even more so, local hackers. So like if you're at Starbucks or McDonald's or something, then your local hacker that hacked into the local network, they won't be able to really do anything because everything will be encrypted on that side. Now keep in mind, you still got to deal with physical security, so shoulder surfing and stuff like that. But other than that, the digital part of it will be secure. So there is an actual security layer right there, so you don't have to worry about, oh, is the person going to get into your emails or whatever it may be. Now, the other advantage to it is, again, your internet service provider won't know what you're going to. Now, 99% of the time, I personally don't care myself if that is the case or not. However, your internet service provider can actually throttle your traffic or even stop your traffic altogether to go into some sites. So, for example, I think it was a couple years back, I missed an episode of something on Comedy Central and I wanted to see it. Well, because I think it's Viacom or whatever that owns Comedy Central, because they didn't have an agreement or had a falling out with the internet service provider I had, a way to leverage things, the internet service provider blocked all website traffic, even though that they had a falling out on the cable side, and I didn't even associate with their cable packages. They blocked all website traffic to the given site, so I wouldn't be able to see anything. And it was to force people to call up and say, hey, you guys need to agree, so whatever. But a way around that little crap, I could just use a VPN, and because the ISP doesn't know where I'm going to, it doesn't know to inject a given website into the thing and to block any traffic going to wherever. This is very, very important, because if we take a look at something like, for example, in the UK, BBC, it's a very popular local channel. It's free over in the UK area because of taxes over there. Well, if you have a VPN server, you can actually watch the stuff. Whereas if you don't, what happens is if I try to connect to the BBC, so let's say for example, again, I'm in the United States, trying to connect something over to the UK, the BBC, I will get some to watch stuff directly there. So that's not an option. So what happens is I can connect to a VPN that's within the area, and then that connects to the website itself. In that way, the website thinks I'm over there, so I get access to it. Now, the funny thing with this is you might be saying that I don't care about the BBC. Well, here's the thing, and you might not care about Star Trek, but CBS, I think it was CBS, they released a brand new Star Trek, and it was only on streaming devices over here in United States at least. Well, what ended up happening is they wanted people to pay some $9 or some ridiculous amount just to watch that crap. And if you just want to watch it, check it out to see what they changed and to see what's what. Well, if you're here in the United States, you'll have to pay. But if you're in Europe, you don't have to pay. So if you can use a VPN to trick the system into thinking that you're in Europe, ta-da, you don't have to pay. So it gets around region blocking and all the other stuff. Now, I'm not telling you to do these things. I'm saying that is an option. So legally protect myself, don't do these things, but hint, hint, you can do these things. And some people use that for those ability. So with that one in mind, check out the affiliate link down below. And if you're going to subscribe to them, and if you got any questions and whatnot, then let me know. Hope you have a great day.